All right, welcome to another episode here on my tiny little channel. I'm Jessie Wyman, founder of the Brand Photographer Method and owner over at Jessie Wyman Photography. I am here to help build your brand photography business, whether it's getting those leads into your inbox or helping you with shoot planning or nailing the shoot. I have you covered. Now, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can start talking to your ideal client and creating messaging for your marketing efforts so that you don't get stumped the next time you sit down to write your content marketing strategy. Okay guys, how many times have you sat down to say, all right, I'm going to write my Instagram captions for the month. I'm going to plan out my blog posts. I'm going to write those newsletters. And then you're you're taking your pen and you're like, well, I have no idea what to talk about. So I've been there and I still get there sometimes. I'm like, I feel like I've talked about everything already. But I'm going to break it down into ways that are, the method that I have to take myself back to when I'm at that point. But it's been super, super helpful in organizing my thoughts and getting that messaging and marketing out there. Now, if you're still lost, I do have a free Instagram captions guide where it's got 50 Instagram captions that you can grab. You can translate them however you want. You can even put them into a blog post or a newsletter. The link is in the description. You can grab those whenever you like. It's available to you. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down on how I process it. And this is what I teach in the bootcamp as well. So what you ultimately want to start thinking about is keeping in mind your ideal client, right? Who this person is, but also starting off with your content categories or your content buckets. Now, this is really mainly for organizing your thoughts and also weeding out content that won't fit in those buckets. That's the content you don't want. So what am I talking about? So for me, the content buckets are solves a problem, tips and tricks, my why, and my weird. Those are usually the topics that I like to talk about. And if the content or copy doesn't fit within one of those, it's out. I'm not going to do it. So when you think about this, you can also think about this as your brand pillars, your brand values. What do you like to talk about? What does your audience like to talk to you about? It could be, family. It could be, and that, that kind of falls under my why is my family, which is my husband and my dog who recently passed, but he was a big part of my life. And my weird was also my dog. Maybe I need to come up with a new weird. I'm just weird. But anyways, I digress. So once you have these content buckets and categories identified, it's really going to help you organize your thoughts. So then I want you to take a step back, just walk it back a little bit and think about how your clients come to you. This is important because it's going to help inform the style of your content. So if you're thinking that your clients mainly come to you from Google, you might want to focus on blog copy. You might want to focus on Instagram copy if all of your clients are literally coming from Instagram. You might want to focus on building that newsletter. If you're finding that you're getting a lot of opt-ins and responses from your newsletter, focus on that. It's really great to understand where you want to put your content and where you should be putting your efforts. So think about the outlets where you're going to do this. But a lot of the times you can actually translate one piece of content into another. So a lot of times I'll take my Instagram post it as a blog post. Obviously, I'd want to beef it up in the blog post because Instagram's more short form copy than a blog post, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time. So you've got your contents / categories, your buckets and categories, and you've got your outlets, where you want to post. Now we're going to actually dive into how do we come up with these ideas. Now, what I do is I generally come up with the overall topic, I like to think of it as a title to the caption or a title to the blog post. And then I build it out from there. But my goal with content planning is just to come up with that title. So thinking back to your ideal client, really you want to think about what's going to solve their pain points. This could be a pain point related to actually overcoming an objection to working with you, to what's a specific problem in the process that we're trying to achieve. So I'll give you an example. So a client may be interested in knowing some location options in the Boston area where I shoot. So I could easily come up with 5 of my favorite locations to shoot in Boston. Now, this is a great post. It may not help my client overcome an objection. It may not like be the determining factor for them, but like working with me, it might not like make them say like from no to yes. But what this can do is let them say, oh, you know what? She actually really like knows what she's talking about. Like, so I don't have to worry about finding locations. Like if I book with her, she's got like a list of locations in her back pocket that are like perfect for what I'm looking for. So I'm not worried about it. So it's like one less worry off their plate. So that's one example. Then another example is like my why. So I like to talk about the reason I do what I do. And this is more about the relatable content where my audience, my other solopreneurs, entrepreneurs can relate to. So I will post things about not working on the weekends, why I only like work until 5, or I don't respond to emails, or, you know, some of these little entrepreneur nuggets. Now, these are not necessarily going to, again, like have your client like go from no to yes to working with you, but it's building that relationship. You know, we talk a lot about the build, know, like, and trust, but that's the type of post that we're talking about. So hopefully that like gets you thinking on some ideas on like how you should be approaching your content creation and your messaging and the things you're going to say to your clients. Now, again, this can be part of your larger marketing strategy, and translating this to your pieces of organic content marketing, your Instagram posts, your blog posts, your Pinterest pins, all the things. So if you are still stuck though, if you're still not sure even where to start or what type of copy has resonated with brand photography, I do want you to check out that Instagram guide I have where I have 50 captions for you. It's there in the description. Link is there to grab that. Hopefully it's helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.